This is Wrap the News, and this is a replica of the altar that we will be making for the sacrifice of Yom Kippur. Very important that we make this sacrifice for Yom Kippur, and this is a replica, and this here is, you know, a model of exactly what we're trying to make. So basically it's going to have 4 corners, and the sharp points on the corners are the what they call the horns right here. Okay, and the sides is going to be made out of shittim wood and brass, which is copper, right? Not actual brass, is going to be made of copper. And these are the utensils. So the biblical verse goes in Exodus 38:1, and he made the altar of burnt offerings of shittim wood. 5 cubits was the length thereof, and 5 cubits the breadth thereof, 4.5 by 7.5. It was 4 square, and 3 cubits the height thereof. And he made the horns thereof on the 4 corners of it. The horns thereof were the same, and he overlaid it with copper. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the plots and the shovels, and the basins and the flesh hooks, and the fire pans, and all the vessels thereof made he of brass, and which is copper in this case. And he made for the altar a brazen grate of network under the compass thereof beneath unto the midst of it. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grate of brass to be placed for the staves. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and he overlaid them with brass, copper. And he put the staves into the rings on the sides of the altar to bear it withal. He made the altar hollow with boards. So again, we're going to be making this. It's going to be made with wood, and copper is going to be over the wood so the wood don't burn. So copper is supposed to withstand the heat, you know, keep everything cool so it don't burn. This is the walkway that's going to be made out of concrete and rock to place the sacrifice on the altar. It has to be lifted so we can clean the ash from the bottom of the altar. And these points right here are called the ram horns, or the horns. And these are the 4 points where you pour blood, the ram's blood that you offer for a sacrifice. You pour the blood right here on each side. So what they did is they had cups on the inside of the points, and they poured blood inside there, and the blood dried up during the sacrifice. But if you didn't have that, you just poured the blood on each side of the 4 corners that stand out. Some said they don't have to be sharp, they could be square. Okay, not saying it is going to happen, but the fire is supposed to be coming from above. Not that we actually like this thing. It's actually supposed to be lit by God. So basically, you do all the necessary formalities, and the fire come from above, or however it come, and it light the altar itself. So we don't supposed to actually light it. Not saying that's going to happen or is not going to happen. We don't know because we never built one, you know. And so it'll be interesting nevertheless. You know, I'm pretty sure the copper and everything has something to do with it. But yeah, a fire is supposed to come and consume the burnt offering, and the fire is supposed to be coming from above. It's not supposed to be like self-lit. So what we're going to do is, as we build this thing, we are going to be uploading video to YouTube so you can see how far we have gotten on this and how fast the work is being done. Okay, now we come to the actual sacrificing of the male goat or lamb. And so this is live in Israel right here. And so they are up where they're supposed to be doing the sacrifices. They are in the Holy Land doing this. And so basically what they did is string up a male sheep, you know, and they're going to come up behind it, the high priest, and cut the sheep's throat, and then they're going to soothe the sheep. You know, they were very loud. You know, you can see that the sheep was startled and everything else, and it's kicking and everything. It just seemed not the way that I would want to do that. So I chose another way to do it, and that's lay it on its side like this. And so once you get the ram or the goat on its side, you're going to relax the goat and everything else. We would have to have a very, 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 very sharp knife. There's like no room for error with this, you know what I mean? And basically you want it to relax it as much as it can, and you want to cut the throat, it's humane as you possibly can. So we're going to cut the throat as humane while the goat is like relaxed in a relaxed state, because some say that if it's not in a relaxed state, the meat is going to be tough. Don't know if we're going to be eating the meat or not, we will see. So we have some that say that we're not supposed to be doing any sacrifices in the land of captivity, and that's just bogus, people. It's bogus, because during the first captivity in Exodus 12:3, it's telling Israel to sacrifice a lamb, and they're in Egypt in captivity sacrificing rams. So we're going to go to Exodus 12:3 to prove all of that crap wrong. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the numbers of souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. So what are they doing? The whole congregation is killing a what? A goat. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two sides of the post and on the upper doorpost of the house, wherein they shall eat it. Because what was he going to do? He was going to kill all the firstborn of Israel, right? Yes. And basically, and it wasn't Israel, it was of Egypt. He's going to kill all the firstborn. And basically, this is the Passover. So you're going to put the blood on the top of the post of the front door and on the two sides of the front door. And basically, when the angel of death passes through, it's going to, which they call the destroyer, it's going to pass by the house with the ram's blood on it, right? And so that happened in captivity. And so the Pharaoh's children got, and the Egyptians' children, the firstborn, got slaughtered, right? So we do sacrifices, prayers, and everything else that we would do in Israel right in captivity, if it's possible. We know that we got forces working against us that, they want to call PETA on you, they want to do this, they want to do that, whatever they can try to do to stop you from being righteous. It's just insanity. But don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do a sacrifice or anything like that in captivity. That is bogus. So this is what we're going to do, God willing. We are going to take the ram's blood and we're going to put it on a sheet and basically discreetly overnight it to people who want it in the mail. So you will receive 3 pieces of the sheet to go over the top of your door and the sides of your door. That's where it's supposed to be at. And basically we're probably going to brush it on the sheet with hyssop like it's supposed to be done. And we are in captivity. We have to do what we can do. We got to figure out what the legalities of all of this is, because we already know some people want to call the cops on you for anything. And basically I'll overnight it to you. It's going to be your address at the top and the bottom, because I'm not putting my address on there. You know what I mean? So basically probably give you a tracking number and everything else where you can just overnight it to yourself, and that way you get it on time. If you want to be involved in that, if you want to, something to put over your doorway. Other than that, we're going to be doing it for the people, praying for the people and everything else. But just like I said, if you want some of the ram's blood that we sacrificed and prayed over and everything else, then you can just put it on your doorway and everything out. It ain't for human consumption or sale or blah blah blah, you know, for all the people who are trying to get us on legalities. But it is just for the Passover. The end. It's for religious rights and purposes. So with that said, you guys leave with you know, your beliefs, your thoughts in the comments. And if you know some things that I don't know or I missed about this, then write it also in the comments, and we'll be keeping you updated on this, and we got to get working on this right away. So this is Wrap the News again. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comments. Peace.